Okay, we are live.
We are.
Welcome back to the Insanities. That is the channel known as By the Dice.
Hello.
And I cast Wish for installment number 2 in character classes. Today, the brutalities that are barbarians.
Yes.
B is for broken. We'll just start there.
Yeah. Barbarians are fun.
Yeah. One of these days I'm going to build a city dweller barbarian. Normally they're like, oh, they come from the Outlands. No, this guy came from the fracking city. He's from the hood. He's just really angry. He's a really angry drunk in the hood.
Yes. Yes. He's a give me a reason kind of guy.
More of a just don't kind of guy, but yeah. Just don't.
Derp, where's my brain?
I don't know. But diving into barbarians, well, first of all, they're the biggest hit point holders in the game.
With a
Most
D12.
definitely. With a D12, like, they're a meat sponge. You got your well-armored warrior fighters who get themselves on the front lines and can definitely up their armor class and shit, but barbarian, they just don't care. In a rage, they take half damage from piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning. Which makes them an ideal multi-class for monk because they can work unarmored better. Monks get dexterity plus wisdom to their unarmored armor. Barbarians get their constitution bonus to their unarmored at level 3. So 50-50ing monk and barbarian is just cruel. You only need 20 levels. 10 of each is enough.
Right. At that point, you really just don't want to mess with them.
I mean, the fact that they can walk up and give smack a dragon and drop it like a sack of shit helps, but...
Yeah. Watch that shit happen. You're just like... Remind me never to be on your bad side.
Yeah, because barbarians in a rage add their get a dice class bonus, I believe, to unarmed attacks at some point.
At some point, I believe.
Certain types do. I believe it's the Berserker.
Probably. I mean, 9th level with a brutal critical, you can roll an additional weapon damage die. At 11th, you get your relentless rage, which means if you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging and don't die outright, you can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw and go to 1 hit point instead and still be in the game. Persistent rage at 15. Your rage is so fierce it ends early only if you fall unconscious or if you choose to end it.
Indomitable Might, beginning at 18th level, your total for a strength check is less than your strength score. You can use that score in place of the total. Which means you can naturally dirty 20 just about everything.
Yep, and at 20th level, you embody the power of the wilds. Your strength and constitution scores increase by 4. Your maximum for those scores is now 24.
At which point you go Mekong. Let's see.
Then there's the Frenzy, which has the Path of the Berserker. You get a bonus action weapon attack every round of combat after your first one. But when your rage ends, you do suffer a level of exhaustion.
Yeah, you only get one bonus action, though.
I think in the continuation because Path of the Berserker is continued in one of the books. it updates it to where you get an extra one every round of combat.
With a feat or something?
Yeah. Which is what Antec has.
Which is just broken. It's like blindly beat it until it's pulp and keep going because you didn't know any better.
Right. Mindless Rage. You can't be charmed or frightened while you're raging. If you are charmed or frightened when you enter your rage, the effect is suspended for the duration.
Yeah. Which means that if the charmed effect, the second you come out of your rage, you're charmed, but if the person who cast the spell has their concentration broken, that's their problem.
I like the retaliation factor. Starting at 14th level, when you take damage from a creature within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against it. Get a whole ass attack. Because, fuck you. How dare you hit me?
With all of your barbarian fuck you attached to it.
Yeah.
And because it's the end of that creature's turn, you don't have to worry about it hitting you if it's like the party going up against a dragon. Which means that in that exact moment, you don't have to worry about the its next turn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it being a reaction, it's still its turn and it negates the disadvantage. Frenzied attacks are brutal.
Frenzied reckless attacks are hilarious.
Yeah, reckless is just... I'd like to... Reckless. At second level, you can throw aside all concern for your defense to attack.
Yep.
Advantage on melee weapon attack rolls using strength during this turn, but attack rolls against you have advantage on your next turn. Until your next turn, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is that if it goes last, or if you have 3 of your buddies going,
Mm-hmm.
it goes into that disadvantage is until your next turn, as long as you don't move out of melee range. By the time it loops back around to you, just hope you have a high enough, what is it? Initiative, that one. Uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Yep.
They just make you harder and harder and harder to kill.
Mm-hmm.
While you're not wearing any armor, your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution bonus. So if you roll really high, it's just really wrong.
Mm-hmm. Plus, if you take a race like a Goliath, constitution bonus and things get a racial bonus, so it just goes up and up and up.
Mm-hmm. And you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Ability score improvements. At the standard 8th, 12th, 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th.
Yep.
Make sure that constitution and strength are up to 20 by the time you hit 20, because then you get that sweet 24.
You know, feral instinct, getting advantage on initiative.
Getting into the Path of the Totem.
Path of the Totem has feral instinct is under fast movement and extra attack.
Oh, that's just in your standards, yeah.
Yep. Path of the Totem Warrior. Spirit Seeker. At 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you gain the ability to cast Beast Sense and speak with animals. And you choose a totem spirit and gain its feature, which Bear gives you while raging. You have resistance to all damage except psychic. And the spirit of the bear makes you tough enough to stand up to any punishment. Eagle, while you're raging, other creatures have disadvantage on opportunity attack rolls against you, and you can use the dash action as a bonus action on your turn. The spirit of the eagle makes you into a predator who can weave through the fray with ease. And wolf, while you're raging, your friends have advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that is hostile towards you. The spirit of the wolf makes you a leader of hunters.
Yeah, bear just gets more and more brutal as it goes on, too.
Mm-hmm.
Carrying capacity is doubled. You have advantage on strength shifts checks to push, pull, lift, or break things.
Mm-hmm.
You can see up to a mile away as an eagle with no difficulty, able to discern even fine details as though looking through something no more than 100 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your wisdom perception checks. The wolf. You gain hunting sensibilities of a wolf. You can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move stealthily while traveling at normal pace. And then at 10th level, it just gets weird.
Yeah.
At 10th level, you can cast Commune with Nature spell, but only as a ritual. When you do so, a spirit version of one of the animals of your you chose for a totem spirit or aspect of the beast appears to you to convey the information you seek.
Yes. 14th level, it gets even more like, wow. Because bear is like, while you're raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets that aren't you or another character with this feature. The enemy is immune to this effect if it can't see or hear you, or if it can't be frightened. Eagle, while raging, you have a flying speed equal to your current walking speed. This benefit works only in short bursts. If you fail, you fall if you end your turn in the air, and nothing else is holding you aloft. And wolf, while you're raging, you can use a bonus action on your turn to knock a large or smaller creature prone when you hit it with a melee weapon attack.
So basically, you can fly 30 feet, keep yourself 4 feet off the ground at the end of your arc, so it's just it's like a jump spell, basically, for the eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Who says barbarians need magic?
Some of them are just instinctively.
These days, I'm just gonna straight out have to go, like... I miss that samurai character I created for the,
The Light of Xerxes?
Yeah. That character was fun.
I bet.
Very honor-bound. Very much, I am the sponge.
Mm-hmm. And it's, like, Kalor had some level in Barbarian as well, and got even more, just hit me! I can take it!
Yeah. It's just a thing. It's like, no, I'm a damage sponge.
And because the transition to Paladin went from the 1d12 for my Barbarian to now 2d10, it's not that bad. It's really not.
No, it was actually a very balanced way to go about things. I'm kind of proud of myself for the machinations involved in making that flow smoothly and not be a hindrance to the player. It's like, canonically speaking, in storyline, it makes sense.
Yeah, had to trade her rage for godlike power. Just a little bit of it right now, but godlike power.
Especially since Kalora is not bound.
Yeah, no. Not currently.
Like, not the kind of oath that, like, there will be no redemption paladining Kalora.
No.
That's just not in her
Kalora's
path.
too traumatized to see the redeemable qualities in everyone.
Yeah, first time that she met an arsonist, it would be game over.
Oh yeah, nope.
Oathbreaker right there.
Uh-huh. Hey fam. Yeah, we'll have to talk later because I'm about to smash his shit.
On the other hand, Vengeance works very well for a paladin of Tiamat, it turns out.
Vengeance, and we're going Oath of Glory.
Glory also works very well for Tiamat.
Which I'm still thinking about how I want to play that out.
I highly recommend also thinking about how you want your particular spells to look. Because we're going all dark god with it. keep in mind, you're not bound to good acts.
What's great is, like, Kalora has 101 hit points right now. And because all of her hit dice are d10s, if she were to trade all of her levels for Paladin, will come oath when we hit level 3 and have her take her oath. Big sacrifice for big power type style. Her hit points wouldn't change.
Convenient. But back to the Barbarian.
Yes, the Barbarians.
Like, they're a very straightforward class, but at the same time, if you really read into it, as straightforward as they are, there's definitely something to be said for what their real advantage is. It's sort of like, remember old Diablo 2 playing the Barbarian class? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, where it's all about your weapon. It's all about how much screw you can create in one hit. Mm-hmm. Because Brutal Critical at level 17 adds 3 more dice of your weapon type. So you just critted and you get to add 3 extra dice to that.
Fuck you.
And if it happens to be a magical weapon with extra stuff, and you get the damage bonus, and you get this and that, it's entirely possible for a Barbarian to hit you once and crit. And hit you for 100. Keep going because they're in a rage.
Mm-hmm. I will say, in reference to Baldur's Gate and Karlach as a barbarian, Path of the Berserker is absurd with her.
Oh, I buy it.
That frenzy is... Well, don't need any other damage soakers in the party.
Yeah, basically.
She ends up with like 70 hit points at level 4. Alright, we'll be back here with our 36 hit points.
Yeah, that's if you Barbarian from the start, too.
Mm.
Like, you just end up with this massive amount of HP unless it rolls shitty.
Yep.
And you just maul everything. Though, honestly, I feel like Barbarians, since they're proficient in Constitution, should actually get their proficiency bonus to their hit points.
Yes.
Though if I do that, I'm increasing the challenge rating basis for my parties by 2 every time if there's a Barbarian in it.
Right.
It may not seem that necessary, but if that Barbarian does not find it necessary to try not to die...
I've played a couple Barbarians who... No fucks given.
Yeah.
I've had my Khal Drogo and the blade in my chest moment. Your blade doesn't scare me.
Knife sticking out of you. Just... Really, dude?
Thanks for the dagger.
Gets the Barbarian strength bonus.
Yep. And it's so easy to play a Barbarian who just has no fucks to give. Good.
Give them a Warhammer, especially if that, like, Barbarian, my personal favorite way to work with them is to give them a dire mace because it's a 2-handed weapon, which gives you that nice, or a halberd. No, you give them a halberd or a dire mace because they get that reach and they still get cleave.
Mm-hmm. Big sharp stick.
And it's like a lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
Because whirlwind tactic is something that happens with like that.
Oh god, I was playing this one campaign where I was playing a barbarian. I was playing Path of the... I think I was playing Path of the Berserker, actually. And we had a fighter, a Goliath fighter in our party, and I was a halfling barbarian. Having just the best time being a little halfling barbarian because I can... the ability to move under people and all of the great benefits of being a halfling, plus rage.
Yeah, but your great axe is twice your height.
Uh-huh, which is adorable.
Looks like the goblins from fucking Labyrinth.
And the fighter would frequently grab my barbarian by the ankles and just whee in combat as his movement. Yeah, the DM would have to go, roll to hit. Are you holding your weapon? I am. Whee! I'm not trying actually to hit anything. I'm just holding the barbarian and swinging in place. Roll to hit. Let's see how many you hit. It's not my fault we extend out 5 feet and everything in range gets hit.
Only... See, I just roll a D percentile personally as a DM at that point. Because you're not breaking my campaign like that. And it would be a percentile of who would take the weapon damage and who would see this overly telegraphed fucking attack coming. Especially if it's screaming "wee" at you as it's holding on to a large weapon. I mean, let's just be square about some shit here.
Right? Like, yeah, there's gonna be at least one who steps out the way.
That's like, how did you miss that block? It's like, how did you not block the guy with the singing sword? Swing at the Sinatra sound. You'll be alright.
And later, I multi-classed 2 levels of Bard. So that when we did that spinning kamikaze attack, I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Just so I could do that and give him a bardic inspiration on swinging me.
Ironically, you can't cast any, but bardic inspiration doesn't cost concentration. You can't use any of your other abilities while you're barbing it.
No. And you really can't while you're being spun through the air.
On the other hand, I almost see it being death metal bard if you cross-class with barbarian. You know, like, little halfling goes, I'm gonna eat your soul. All of a sudden, everybody gets fucking inspiration, and he swings and splits the skull in half with the great axe.
Yeah, everyone expects their D&D campaign to be all Lord of the Rings, but it ends up being Honor Among Thieves.
Everybody expects their D&D campaign, in my opinion, to be Lord of the Rings. But instead, they get Lord of the G-String. And for those of you who don't notice, this channel says very clearly, not for children. And if you don't know what that movie is, Google it sometime.
Right. Just all of the chaos.
And learn all about dildo saggins.
Yes.
And and the great wizard Smirnoff. Look, it's actually one of my favorite fucked up spoof movies of all time. I mean, I realize it's softcore porn, but it's hilarious.
Right. And barbarians have so much room for fun play like that.
Perfect example. Watch the Vox Machina stuff on Amazon. Grog is... Oh, buddies. Grog is fucking Travis Willingham was learning to play D&D, and a barbarian is a great starter character for anybody.
Oh, yeah. The barbarian's a really good place to start.
Though everybody's like, I want magic. Okay, that's going to be complicated. You know that, right?
Right.
You cool with doing the homework? Because I'm cool with you playing whatever you're down to play, but as a DM, but...
Right. At that point, if they wanted to play were a new player and they wanted magic, I would say, all right, well, you're going to have at least 1 feat in this campaign from our starting level. So, use that to take a magic adept. That way you get this easy to play class that you're going to learn well on.
At sacrifice of an ability bonus, though.
Yeah. But a well-built barbarian doesn't need it.
You can always have more constitution.
Yep.
You can always... Okay, like, maybe it's just me, but if I'm playing a barbarian, I'm a straight-out, charismatic, relatively commonsensical meathead. Intelligence? No. Math? How do you tell how damaged you are? I don't even think about the math. I think about the swingy and hope my friend's got my back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a blind, befitting rage, and they just maul everything Cuchulain's status through the whole thing. And for those of you who don't know, start looking up who Cuchulain is, please, look up Irish mythology.
Right.
The Hound of Ulster was a very scary person to most of Britannia.
Have you ever had a party that was 1 barbarian and 3 healers? Or 4 healers?
Yes, 2 of the healers or the healer's offshoot on who's doing healing spells and damage, and the barbarian just mauls.
Mm-hmm. It's terrifying. It's really hard to total party kill them.
Yeah, one of the healers heals the other 2, and the other 2 keep the barbarian alive, and the barbarian eats your baddie.
Yeah!
With a backup buff from the 3rd guy who doesn't need to blow all his spell shots on healing because the barbarian swings for fucking 50 every round, twice minimum. Actually, let's look at that. So we get extra attack at 5th level. So that's 1. Ability score improvement, brutal critical, relentless rage, ability score, path feature. They only get 2 attacks. If they double crit, which, especially with, it's considered a strength check if they're using a strength-based weapon like a great axe, so they get advantage. At least at my table, I make them roll with advantage on those.
Level 20. Unlimited rage. You can rage as much as you want at level 20.
I'm as pissed as I want to be. You can all just fucking die!
Right? That's when you're hulking it, though. It's like, oh, I always have my rage bonus.
What do you mean? This is me pissed off.
I'm in a rage. Now. Wanna see? No.
I live here. I am angry. Incarnate. I live here.
Right.
I can't use spells, but I took 10 levels in Monk while afterwards.
Level 30 Adventurer. What are you? 10 levels of Monk and 20 levels of Barbarian. I am angry all the time, and I can hit you several times per turn.
With my bare fragging hands. And they do double weapon damage.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if we were going to cross-reference it, speaking of that. So if we said 10 levels added to that 20, because there is math to make that work, I just don't allow players to have more than 20 levels in one particular character class.
Yep.
Because after it gets that level 20 skill, you're just going to be adding fucking feats every 4. And there are other ways to tag on stats if that's what's tag on scats. Jesus Christ. Long nut English speak me. Let's see. Extra attack 1. Looking at how many attacks does a monk get? Because if you flurry of blows it, not slow fall, deflect missiles, unarmored movements, flurry of blows. You can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed bonus after you make an attack action on your turn. Which means technically you can blow 2 key points if you have 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
The way it is written in the book. Which gives you a grand whopping total of 6 hits in 1 round. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, at 10th level, your fist does 1d6. Doesn't seem like much. Now, with each attack that hits, you're allowed 1 off action or that bonus key action for the flurry of blows, or a stunning strike. So, and you should watch for this because I'm going to give you away some of my tactic right now for Aelwood, since I'm going Goblin Monk to start. This is somebody who has no problem, since stunning strike happens at 1st level for monks, going up underneath because Goblin height, and stunning striking, sack tapping them or taint tapping them. Going between their legs, coming around, and using, on my second attack, using Flurry of Blows to speed bag their kneecaps as a sweeping strike on the key.
God. I love it.
Because technically any attack that goes you can use as a sweep or any of that, it turns out. I've looked into the bullshit. Even if I just have that bonus attack, it's still stunning strike. Ugh. Because I flurry of blows the first one. So the first one that taps, I can add the extra key point to make it a stunning strike, because that actually does stack.
Mm-hmm.
The second one just hits them normal, but they're definitely feeling it. And if they're crit, and this is just one attack, where's your... And now they can't attack again until my next turn? Because they're kind of standing there singing soprano. And narratively speaking, the DM has an easy job.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it so much.
I swear I'm going to sack tap a dragon on you.
I'm looking forward to this.
You're like, the monk's going to sack tap a dragon.
Right.
And stun them. I can see that dragon now. How did you lose to that tiny little goblin? It speed bagged my nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Barbarian, unfortunately, is like really, really cut and dry and straightforward. And there's not much content you can write on it. I mean, there's the great barbarians of history that we've all heard about. I mean, there's so many goblin Viking berserkers who have definitely embodied what it is to be a barb.
Yeah, and beginning as a barbarian can be a fun build if you took the starting gold instead of starting equipment.
Yeah, whomp 'em with the wappy stick. We believe in whomp 'em with the wappy stick.
Yeah. Hit them early and often, because it's fun.
And if you don't think it's fun, don't play Barbarian.
Right.
There are other ways to stop combat.
Oh, yes.
Charm, spell.
Bards are particularly good at that.
Yeah. Just don't whip it out and spin it around like a helicopter and expect that shit to work.
Right.
Roll seduction at disadvantage.
Right.
What's the DC for this to work? You don't want to know. Roll high.
Twice. Roll high twice.
Why? Because that is not seductive.
Nobody who might possibly be going to bed with you wants to see a limp noodle.
Well, if it's a really hot succubus, it's still not going to work the way you planned on it.
Yeah, no.
Don't crit fail. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, no.
And you'll be a eunuch.
Kalora being like, y'all are nice and whatnot. Here's a little bit of a tip. Please don't come to my bedroom.
Actually, Kalora at this point would go, I could look at them and go, I'm off limits. I'm a paladin of Tiamat.
Right.
She is one of the rulers to the 7 levels of hell. If you're her paladin, you're because that's one of the few actual, like, technical archdevils that is a deity.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the lore and she's both.
Yes.
Which means that you are technically right now oath-bound to a demonic entity.
Mm-hmm.
Or an infernal...
Soon to be oathbound.
Soon to be oath-bound to an infernal entity. Because demonic is abyss, not hell.
Yep. But I have been thinking how I want to play out what happens at the point of making the oath. Like... Kalora's fun as a fighter, and I love all of her nifty bits, but my home class is Paladin. So I know that if I just trade my levels and straight Paladin her, I can build something just...
Now, I'm going to have to tell you the honest-to-God truth. as far as that goes, part of that's going to be through roleplay.
Yeah. No.
And
the story has to match.
Better roll high on your persuasion, or Tiamat is going to bend you over a wooden horse and take a walk up your Strata Chocolata with 5 dragon takes. You are already skating on the edge of what the fuck on a regular basis as a party.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you guys have skated that line so well that the bug zapper incident happened.
And
now, to be fair, like, how much warning did I actually give you?
oh, plenty. It's just that Kalora did not perceive it.
You rolled shitty on your perception. You really did.
Yep, Kalora watched it happen, but it didn't get past the eyeballs.
See, which brings me to, like, a little bit of a DM, like, advice out there.
Seeing and comprehending are 2 different things.
Your players, at times, without any doubt in my entire existence, are going to, even after being given more than ample warning, do something excruciatingly stupid.
You.
Now, if you have amply warned them that this will kill them or has a very high probability of killing them, and being highly effective, and they don't take the hint, then it's your wholehearted job as a DM to disintegrate their player or their character and tear up the character sheet.
And had that gone much worse, I would have handed you Kalora.
Yeah, Kalora would not have ended up on the wall at that point. Kalora would have ended up as a fire starter.
Here you go, I've got an aim already.
She would be burning in the 9 hells right now.
Well, this was fun.
You all are technically in the service of Tiamat. What do you think happens at this point?
Right? Well, this was fun. Well...
Did you learn anything?
Nope. Next reincarnation, gonna do it again.
See, that's really where the beauty of it comes in, is that y'all are relentless, and I don't have to actively try and kill you as a DM.
We're good at getting ourselves into situations.
Exactly, and...
like lying to a golden dragon.
You managed it.
They managed it. I was...
They made the persuasion checks because I rolled low.
Yep.
No, like, I rolled a 2.
Yeah, the DC on that would not have been hard for an adult golden dragon. You'd have to roll absurdly low.
I rolled, like, well... Their insight only had a +5 to the bonus. So... Chris rolled high and I rolled low, and that die has been sitting in the jail. Well, no, actually, that die isn't even in the jail. That die is under the hutch.
It's sequestered.
Fuck sequestered, it is banished. It's like that die you saw me throw when Torin went to grab you, was to see whether or not the lasso, with a percentage chance of it hitting a part of you that was outside of the line of field that was the disintegration wall. There was a 10% chance.
But he just disintegrated his rope.
And chain lightninged up it.
I would love to see that.
Okay. Aspen was a twat.
Yeah.
Do you know what the fact is? Aspen built the walls.
Uh-huh.
So if they don't get you with the zap, there's a percentage chance that if somebody tries to pull you out because you're not dead yet, that it'll auto-cast chain lightning.
That's great. That's great.
So it would have looked like chain lightning. There's a 90% chance that it'll go off. I rolled a 4 on a percentile.
Yay!
That's why you watched me go.
Oh.
Because I was about to electrocute all y'all.
Uh-huh.
The other 2 would have lived.
Uh-huh. Killer would have been, alright, bye fam.
One less fucking wingnut in my goddamn party.
Naima's not any less of a wingnut.
Okay, one less suicidal wingnut in my party. You wrote her to survive, Nox.
I did. She has more intelligence. She's a bit smarter. She'll hesitate on things.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it, and in the future, like after this campaign finishes, because enough history will have passed, and enough education will have been put into the world, I think I'm going to give a +2 circumstance bonus that is never spoken to characters, but is a part of the content that you just real quiet hush hush at creativity or creation. All characters get a +2 bonus to intelligence just for being born on this particular sphere in the material plane.
That's funny.
What do you mean? If you're too dumb, you're gonna die. Yeah. All the way.
Yep. It's a miracle Kalora's lived this long.
Yeah.
Even since she's just started traveling with this party.
Yeah, and it's nothing to do with me being a cruel, unusual, or abusive DM.
No, and I have so much fun playing her.
Exactly, but at the same time, we both acknowledge the fact that it really is a fucking miracle that Kalora's alive, because the world that I wrote was one that was written for thinking adults, not for somebody who just wants to try and murder the hobo their way through reality.
Right.
There you go, honey.
See, when I started building Kalora, I didn't have very much exposure on what I was expecting from the world, so I built the character I wanted to play. My backup character is built for the world I'm playing.
Hannah, who should be joining us in the very near future. I'm sure you will agree that I've come up with a much better description of what they will be dealing with.
Yes.
Okay, to describe Nox to the rest of everybody in a very brief, easy-to-understand manner. The world of Nox Vitalia is what happened when, at the formation of the material plane, when the grand creator of all that is, the unknown, the great mystery, spat forth into the multiverse, this particular iteration of the material plane, it was created at a convergence point between the Fey Realm, the Shadowfell, and the material plane, where both Shadowfell and Fey Realm bleed heavy. Like, if you look at the map of the planes that they show in all of the books, you know how there's those points on the material plane sphere where you see the Shadowfell and the Fey Realm and the material plane are all basically the same spot?
Mm-hmm.
Nox came into materialization at the point where they all collided because there was enough material physical that the Shadowfell and when they say fell-touched lands, they're not joking. The reason the Shadarkai are native to this planet, they're not like coming over from the Shadowfell here, people. They're natives. They live here. They came from here.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, there are entire barbarian tribes of Goliaths who are fell-touched from this place. They can swim in it with resistance to necrotic.
Yeah, Naima is a blend of Path of the Storm Herald, Barbarian, and War Mage. She was running with her clan for a while, and then discovered she got some extra sparky boom. And her clan was like, "That's a little weird, but we love you." And she's like, "I'm making everybody here uncomfortable with my extra sparky booms. How would I go figure that out and come back another time?" She's not traumatized. She was not brutalized or kicked out. She actually had a perfectly good living with her.
Thank you, by the way. character without a fucking tragic backstory.
Nope, she's just basically, it would be comparable to an Aramente.
Fair. Because, like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, guys. Like, as a DM, I hate, like, all the way hate, constant, endless lists of tragic backstories. Most of my characters had wonderful family lives and upbringings. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, my end of fantasy is getting to punch things in the face that hurt me in real life.
Yeah, that's why I've been on a melee kick lately. Fireballs just don't do it for me anymore.
Yep. But Naima is untraumatized.
Cool.
I mean, there's lots of blood and guts and gore in her history, but that's because she's from the Goliath clan. Very much a barbaric clan.
But how many fucks does she actually give about that blood, guts, and gore?
None.
Does she feel it was justified?
She doesn't care if it was.
Okay, so chaotic neutral.
No! Neutral evil!
Okay, that works too. By the way, from this point forward, we will never speak for fucking alignment again.
No.
Much like my goblin.
Mm?
And because I'm 85% sure that the other players don't watch this stream, when we put these out there, the goblin that I'm planning on taking monk, they are neutral evil. Anaya and I have discussed this.
Yep.
They have seen my unholy monk.
Yes, and it's gorgeous.
Let me tell you, darling, I am one drunken little bitch.
No, see, and keep watching I Cast Wish, because I am willing to place enough of a bet that the other players don't watch this podcast. That the Thursday before the first episode of Illwood, I'm going to drop the location of one of the magical items.
Don't do that, it gives me an unfair meta advantage. No, I'm actually saying that as a player in that particular game. Do not drop that, but like, you're totally welcome to ask me all the questions about my character that you need to know as a DM in a place where other people can go, oh.
Oh no, see, the item I've got in mind is very much not for your character.
That's wonderful. That doesn't mean that they're not going to, By the way, so you know, this character in particular, darling, I mean, they are a drunken monk to start. We are going to go 100% drunken master. And then we're going to branch out a bit around 5th level into this thing called Barbarian. Now, to make matters worse, well, it's either I'm going to go Barbarian or I'm really going to fuck with your day, dear. I'm going to become a dragon rider since we've got the rules.
Oh, that would be great.
And I'll have a cute little onyx dragon that I ride around on and just fuck everybody up.
I love it. I love it.
Monk kick to the face after a lance skewer off the back of a dragon, and the dragoon in like the Final Fantasy jump down dragoon status attack. You go plow, plow, kick to the face. The lance didn't get them, but you knocked their block clean off their shoulders with one kick afterwards. By the way, meant to ask you, as a DM, do you give momentum bonuses for things falling from high heights with sharp objects if they hit their target?
I do.
What's the bonus per 10 feet?
1d6.
Oh my god! And the ground's bludgeoning damage!
Every 10 feet over 100 feet is a d12. So if you throw it hard enough, or high enough...
Oh, it's not gonna be a throw! We're talking Goblin, Barbarian, Dragon Rider. I'll take all the I'll take 5 levels in Berserker Barbarian just to get that frenzied rage and the reckless attack that goes with it, and then 15 levels in fucking Dragon Rider.
Yes.
So what you'll end up seeing is full-length lance attached to a goblin, power bombing out of the sky with rage going on. I am done with your shit.
And you just see goblin go up, 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 up. Whee!
Now keep in mind, because you have resistance to bludgeoning damage, with a proper acrobatics check from that drop, if the dragon doesn't catch me before I hit the ground, if we practice the maneuver, it's possible. I looked. I think I could have to check. I'd have to check again. The book's right there.
I'd say if you're dropping from more than 100 yards, your dragon will get advantage on catching you.
I'd be dropping from like 400 feet up straight into the middle of an ancient gold dragon for giggles. Like, I'm not going to attack the chromatics on your world.
Oh, good.
I'm going to attack the metallics.
Why?
You're good.
I'm not.
For dinner. Goblin.
Yep. But I think 5:30 tonight seems like a perfectly good quelching time.
It really is, and thank you to everybody who has joined us. Our chat has been quite dead, even though we can see it. We love you guys. We really do.
And join us next week for Bard.
I am half tempted if it wasn't for the fact I don't have a foundation. Oh, we need to talk about that. I would really appreciate it if you have a foundation that doesn't match for you and is just a slight tone darker than what you are.
I think I do.
I need new foundation.
I think I do.
My makeup is lacking in that area. For those of you who don't know, I am non-binary. And I like feeling girly because there are days when I am a pretty princess, and anybody who doesn't believe me, you should really take a look at some. Oh, my free company? They taught me how to do group poses and make really cool screenshots and sexy pictures and shit on Final Fantasy, so I can totally be pretty princess all day. By the way, if you guys actually want to check that out, I'm on the Midgar Zormer thing. The cafe is Cafe Uzumaki. It's a Bungo Stray Dogs themed anime cafe in the Lavender Beds. I'll have to look up the exact location and get that to you guys ASAP. I just don't have the card on the screen where I can see it right now. But they're open Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thursday through Saturday. And it's all player created content. Our prices are a little pricey, but we're trying to get a new fucking house. And if you pay 1.5 million gil, everybody eats for free for the rest of the shift. Somebody bought us out for 1.5 today. We're trying to get like a new house. So buyout just means that they buy out our stock.
Yep.
Which comes out to whatever the wait staff of 3 has for a day plus the managers, which is about 1.5 million gil with what the prices are listed as. You're not paying for the items. The items are relatively cheap in comparison. What you're paying for is a roleplay experience in an immersive cafe where I'm a waiter. I work there. Don't talk to me about this.
Right.
Matter of fact, I don't even stream that because out of respect for the people who are there, that's why I haven't been streaming a lot of Final Fantasy lately, is because I've been kind of hanging out at the RP thing, getting my RP on as a DM because I don't do it at a table once a month.
I offered to split it evenly.
Yeah, you did, but the fact of the matter is I've written so fucking much when you give me 2 weeks out of a month off. Like, come on, and I have lore dumped for 2 weeks straight and not even flinched. You all at this point can ask me just about any question about just about any part of the world, and I could just sit there and lore dump on you for an hour.
Yeah.
And if I don't know, I Star Trek that shit and make some shit up in the moment, and it's recorded for posterity's sake, and I have a wonderful note taker.
Who comes around with, wait, that's not true. I was home with sick kids last week and was like, that's not true. You said something wrong.
And when you do, what's my response? Oh, yeah, thank you, appreciate you, love you.
That's
good
the
DM.
note taker's job.
Fact is, DMs be broken.
Yeah. DM gets to do an even better, easier job if the note taker is willing to go,
And apparently from what Iakwe was saying and talking to you about in the chats at the time, we're getting more and more interesting as we go with Nox now that I got the steam back up again.
Yep. No, it is, and I'm leaving game feeling way more satisfied with how game went. There were a couple episodes where it was like, I could have gone another 3 hours.
If you'd have been here last week, they could have.
Yeah,
the boys really could have last week.
Oof, those boys.
I might have killed them in 3 hours, but they could have kept going. I could have kept going.
Yeah. It's funny because right before you said, all right, that's where we're going to wrap up, I was like, hey, if you're running late tonight, I could totally disappear now. The kids are asleep.
The fact is that other people had other things to do, so I could not.
Right? I was totally willing to come run a late shift.
Right? Like, oh, yeah, this last Sunday I actually volunteered because they were shorthanded. I just volunteered and popped into the fucking, right before game. I've been, every now and then, like, because the cafe sometimes will have Sunday pop-ups where they're open.
Yep.
I'll go in on a Sunday if somebody can't cover the shift, and I'll just get my roleplay on before games so that I, like, my NPCs come more to life when I have a chance to roleplay elsewhere.
Right.
I'm going to start visiting roleplay venues as I get more money, which isn't that hard. I've found a couple good things. But anyway, as I could keep babbling with Anaya for the next 4 hours about shit that none of you really care about, but we can totally nerd out over.
Oh god, yes we could.
Like, guys, I cannot broadcast it because of the nature of the thing, but I can tell you wholeheartedly that I've got the big green orc mommy thing started up on
Dirge.
Yeah. BG3, Dark Urge, big green muscle mommy is totally monkeying her way into Baldur's Gate. And you know something? It sucks to be everybody who's not Lae'zel. Because Lae'zel's gonna look real funny when she tries to be all hyper aggressive to that orc.
Right. Like, I will say once we hit 100 followers, I'm gonna actually focus on building the Discord.
An actual Discord for our channel. Okay, I'm going to put this out there. Right now, I have my free company Discord, which means that I've got no problem with running this, but here's how this is going to go down so that you guys at home know. I'm going to have to, every night beforehand, mute out the channel for my free company Discord, because I don't know if those guys are going to start watching us or not. I mean, half of them are in the EU time zone. Apparently EU has shitty fucking people on their servers, so they go and connect to NA servers where at least we're reasonable for roleplay. Mainly because most of us don't want to be in this country. Just saying. Please sponsor my emigration. Not immigration, emigration. I'm trying to expat.
Same.
Anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Except that I need to stay here until my daughter's at least 18, so I've got some time because she only turned 10. Anyway.
Yep.
All of that being way too private and personal. In all seriousness, if you all do play Final Fantasy XIV, the Midgard's Armor Uzumaki Cafe, it's either 2225 or 2522 is the lot number. Like Ward 25 or Ward and it's open 4 days a week.
Nice.
Well, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays guaranteed, possibly Sundays if we feel like it. We're going to be closed a lot for the holidays, which sucks because I'm not going to get as much roleplay because one of them is my Thursday work shift.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm sure there's plenty of other RP clubs that aren't all like ERP. ERP stands for Erotic RP. Ours is a SFW club. It's a cafe, so it's safe for web.
Yep.
We do not support NSFW content, which is not safe for web. I mean, our channel is technically safe for web only because we say not for children. Because trust me, my drinking and smoking pot would not go over otherwise.
Right.
This is just how I deal with social anxiety, guys.
I always read NSFW is not safe for work.
Not safe for the web. Fuck that. FCC regs. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you all. Enough of our babbling, and have a great night.
Bye!